Check, 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 check. Check, check, check. Slowly but surely. Nobody. Ah, that's huge. Get it out of the way. Oh. Okay. Good luck. Come on, take it off. Take 2 minutes. Yeah, we should use swing pass and just get some painkillers when you hand. If you get a chance to go, I just look in and make options. Oh, you might just be more resilient to 8 for me. I mean, you do have periods, so. You can seek through one of them, I'm sure you'd be fine with this. Right then, more time. Filters. music is the most important thing. Get some hacking. Yeah. I have no idea what I'm doing. No idea what I'm doing. Hello. Alright, back to work. Right, I'm gonna filter. That's gonna be filter word. Gonna find these guys. This hacker music's not hacky enough. Maximum hackage. Where is it? Oh, it's simply too quiet. Right, filter node. It's gonna have oh, it's a qualifier, filter node. Need another name. Another name. It's filtering, and the thing you're filtering by, I guess, is a predicate. Now it's what do they call? It's a predicate node. Then this would be a filter node would be similar to the filter node would be a leaf. So we'll call that filter, rename as needed. Just takes the filter, which will be one of my polar empties for now. And filter Q, and that's filter node. No, we'll filter node. Did I not name that right? Filter node. Oh, gotcha. Programming powered by near beer. Exciting. This will probably return a bunch of agents. Yeah. It's going to be a bunch of agents. These found subjects. Now,
if it is a filter node that I'm executing on, switch on the filter subject doesn't exist. It does exist. Filter subject, subject. Yep. Filter available subjects. So if the filter node word is empty, now we're going to go get the closest agent with a predicate of empty. And then that would be full, obviously. So that's subject. The word that's going to be a subject node's word. Closest agent can now take a string filter, which will be no. Now we'll stash the enumerable. What's the result so far? Hello, viewer. It's no, it's a filter. No, no ID filter. Then I want the results to equal the results. Where this is going to be a agent, so will the agent do its own thing? Filter by whatever that filter it is. Now, any agent's going to need to have abstract. So now my robot's going to need filter by. So if he is, we're going to return filter on, yeah, switch. Oh, popularity. Filter, switch. Do the switch. If the filter is full, or is it empty and full? Yep. Empty. Spell too early in the morning. Then that will return for a robot if the battery levels are, I guess, less than or equal to that low battery level. Should this be 0. Hello, viewers. Okay, should be 0. Close enough. anybody who's interested in working on a natural language processing system to allow plain sentences to be turned into code that my little robots can execute to go and do crimes for me in the world. So far, I got it working last night. It can do simple commands like go to the nearest battery or go to the nearest charger or the farthest charger, and that works. So I'm adding filtering right now, so you can say go to the nearest empty battery and then pick up the battery, take it to a charger, drop it, and write your own AI. So this would be the same as this, except probably gonna have some kind of, for the robot, if it's to be described as full, a robot's gonna have to have its own, like a robot battery high level. Stick that with the other energy things. Low level. Here we go. And we'll have a default in here. It's a fair exception. Who cares? Invalid. Filter provided. Filter. Something like that. So that's going to be for, we're really interested in the battery though. So if you'll have the same, this time it's going to be the charge. It's going to have the same kind of thing here. Charge, low level, low threshold. Probably should name this all threshold. Doesn't exist yet, it's not a problem. Will in a second. I'll leave those to-dos. That's also legit. Let's make these dudes. This is my first stream, so it might be a bit wonky. If you can hear me, can you just say something in chat, and then I'll know that I exist. I'm having an existential crisis. Okay, maybe I'm a figure of my own imagination. Right, I always forget to fill these guys in, so I'll do that now. This is what the game is gonna look like, kinda, until the art comes along. But I got my buddy Lee working with that. He's awesome. So I wanted to give my battery prefab these. Okay, I've got a compile error. That's not gonna help me out. Oh, my charger also needs that. The chargers don't really filter or anything, so right now, just return a true, I guess. Yeah, they'll always turn up in their list. We got a few more. Oh yeah, I was in the middle of working. It's not mine. Not a good time for testing. Predicate node. What's this bag again? Predicate was being used. It's nowhere right now. I was using this for the filter node. No, it wasn't. Ah, yeah, predicate node was the name that has a filter underneath it. This will be a branch node. So I have graphs, but it's too small to see probably. Is anybody else working on a game? So for this one, right now this is going to be agents now. I need to redo how these guys work. Now, yes, it could be a qualifier node. So this is going to be basically saying something like go to oh, actually, it's pretty the other way around, because the way human language, well, the English language works, you're going to say something like go to nearest empty battery if you want to pick it up and charge it, not go to empty nearest battery. So really, this guy, this qualifier node, which I've considered something like adjective subject, it's likely going to have, instead of a subject, it's likely to have this predicate, which I'm really not happy with the name of. Not super happy with the name of that. Predicate node will then run, and the found subject. I guess this will have to, at this point, take a list, because all of the predicates just filters. So at this point, this will be a list of subjects. I'm kind of just going to have to straight up say, hey, grab the first one. This point. Yeah, because it's going to have a qualifier. So now we can say, we should be able to say, go to nearest empty battery, not empty nearest battery. That should make more sense. Predicate node has a filter. I'll need these guys in a second. That'll be a super simple one. Now, do I really need to have the qualifier node? Because that's the adjective. Does that make any sense? Like, that supports go to empty nearest node. You know what? Sure. If people want to type like that, they can go right ahead. I'm why to judge. What's my brief here? Switch filter. No, I'm switching on the filter. It's always going to be a filter. What am I supposed to do? No, predicates can't work like that. That doesn't make any sense. It also doesn't read very well, so I'm not too worried about that. So let's sort these guys out. So we'll have closest, what was it, closest? The closest agents that are filtered. So let's throw that in there quickly. I'm just going to rip this off. Get closest agents, can you get type? Still takes the computer. And this time it needs a filter for sure. This probably will go away. Do I have a case of using that? I do. Qualifier node. Get the emptiest. Oh yeah, that did work. I should leave that well alone. Yes, that still worked from yesterday. Do not mess with that. Come on, stay in one file, can't stop jumping everywhere. Okay, go to get to closest agents. That's what I wanted. So this one, did I mess up here? Oh, I was in the middle of working on this. Wait. So I don't want the filter here, because I already have it. Did I add this today? Get to the rescue. I'm sure I did not add this today. Building the compiler here. Compiler. And it's in the qualifier node. Line 3 something something. 3 early 300s. 333. I did not mess with that. Okay. Confirmed. So these don't work. I don't want to be sorting them by that, because I'll be doing nearest after, so that's just nonsense. all of the predicates now. This will return found subject will be a subject predicate node. I am in the middle of doing that. Type. Type. Yeah, it's not typing. Code time, right. Time to test these filters, so let's just watch it fail. It's always a good idea. So my code on my robot, where's my robot at? Okay, I wanted to add to the battery. So I finally get rid of these compile errors. Get closest agent. This is no longer a thing, I was messing with that. But now I do need to actually, I guess, at this point first to default it. What does this want? Oh, it's results. Return. Let's find again. Repaired. Right, come on. That should be both of those. I wish I could play music on this channel, but I'm pretty sure I'd be arrested immediately. So batteries, if it's 25% or less, it's low. We'll call it low, and if it's high, it's greater than 75. Change those if I need to. Robots. I guess they have a high threshold now, don't they? Yes, they're high, 75% as well. I should probably make those percentages, not fixed numbers. Robot, do some code for me. Move to, go to the nearest empty battery. Now this one up here is overridden to be hella low. So let's make a couple of those. Just move one a bit closer. So test the nearest part. And so we should go to this one. Well, let's see it fail first. There's no way it's going to work first time. Otherwise, I have to get my computer back and shoot it because it's possessed. Okay. I want to handle adjective and qualifying node. Empty. So it considered empty an adjective. It shouldn't consider that an adjective. So it's looking at that as an adjective. Let me check my word list. My adjectives are nearest, emptiest, and fullest. Let's keep those close. But that's not what I want. I want my fillers empty and full. Why do you think empty is an adjective? Because I'm in a qualifier node, and how's my code written? Go to nearest empty battery. I have to hit this with a debugger. I'm not big brain enough for this. I wonder if I should go full out here. Watch the whole tree get made. Yeah, that would be a refresher from yesterday. Compiler. Show me your whoops. Show me your compile code. Let's see it happen. Watch the simplest compiler in history. Yeah. Compiling. Go to nearest empty battery. Right. Code is go to nearest empty battery. Tokens should be nice and simple. Okay, while I'm here, I'm going to make this a little prettier. So, a token should have at least have a bloody, no, not you. Should at least have a goddamn two-string on it. Should just be just the word. Fine by me. Oh, maybe the type as well. So this bit's going to be a little bit boring, but it's got to be done. So word is a... If anybody's actually here and listening to me and they want to learn anything specific about what I'm doing, just put something in chat. I'm more than happy to explain. My day job is actually a teacher. So I teach this kind of stuff for a living. And I love teaching, so hit me up if you're remotely interested. So that'll be for... Let's see how that looks. Normally I have a lesson plan when I'm teaching. But hey, it's a game jam. I'm just winging it. Hey viewers, if you're just tuning in, I'm working on a game jam. So I can't hear myself. Working on a game jam all about AI. And the theme is breaking the rules. So naturally, me and my partner were like, okay, well, I'll say naturally, it took us to bang our heads together. We're making a game where you have these robots that you can program yourself. They start out doing nothing. You program them yourself in plain English. So I'm working on a natural language processing, or an NLP system right now that takes plain English and turns it into a program. Jay, how long have I been programming for? I started when I was about 12. Professionally, I've been doing it about 15 years. So most of my life. I love it. Can't get enough of it. Yeah, so I can program these guys in plain English saying, hey, go to the nearest battery, go to the nearest empty battery, pick up battery, go to the nearest charger, drop battery, boom. Then you've got a robot who goes around and charges stuff for you. Great. But then the idea is that you're doing crimes, right? So you might go to the nearest, this was my colleague's idea. It's going to be a little bit of humor in this game. You go to the nearest ATM and then seduce ATM. And then when you do that, after a while, if you don't get caught, then it pops out a bunch of bot coins, which is our currency. And then, yeah, you take those back and you stash them and you start getting more robots and programming them. And eventually there's going to be caught bots running around. They've got their own AI. But if you can sort of hack into their battery chargers, or maybe their donut batteries or whatever they're eating, then you can replace the code in their chargers to upload malicious code into the bots, and so you can start the police bots, so they start getting hacked. So we got a whole bunch of ideas. I put the basics of this NLP system, this compiler, down last night, and it runs simple stuff like go to nearest charger, go to emptiest battery, and that works. So now I'm adding go to nearest full battery. I'm adding filters now, and then go from there. I'm gonna add conditionals like if. The one caveat right now there is with this system, and I'm gonna have to stick with it unless I find time near the end of the game jam, which is this Friday coming up, is compound words. Like if you're talking about the robot's battery, it's got to be robot battery, one word, no spaces as of yet, but I'll see if I can get that in later. Right, what was it doing? Right, I was going to debug and watch this whole compile happen. So this is what happens when it compiles. Go to nearest empty battery. So I should go pop my compiler on and hit go. By the end of today, I want to have them doing some pretty complex stuff with this language. So the tokens, now I got some things on there. Okay, they got go to, nearest, empty. So it did see empty as a filter, not an adjective. So my bug is a bit further down, noun. All right, that's all wonderful. Now we have to create the node. So it's going to start with the first word, go to, dumps everything else into the rest. Then it kind of starts from there. So it says, hey, go to, that's a verb. Excellent. So when it makes this thing, it creates a verb node using the first word, which is go to. How many games have I worked on? Quite a few. I try to stay away from the AAA industry these days. I did my time 90-hour weeks for months on end, 7 days a week, just doesn't do it for me. So I've had too many burnouts. I work mostly on indie stuff. Well, it's informative. Just asking questions at all, because again, like I said, I teach programming remotely for a living, amongst other other things I do. So if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to turn this into a bit of a lesson, because I love teaching. Right, so this action node needs a verb, and then it goes into the rest here. So I want to not do what I just did. Right, let's just let it run until it hits the problem I had. Yeah, it's rough. There's definitely better companies than others when it comes to AAA. They're really straight up. There's some that just, it's a meat market, man. It's not cool. Like one of the ones I work for, all of them which remain unnamed. The people you work with are fantastic. It's the culture that's the problem. I say it's fantastic coming from me being a white dude. So I mean, I come from my own experiences, but I've never worked with anything but cool people. But it's when crunch is built isn't like an optional thing. It's not like, oh damn, something went wrong, we have to crunch. It's just the norm. I've seen 2 divorces, dozens of people breaking up from relationships. I've seen 2 people go to mental institutes. And I wasn't even in AAA that long. It's harsh. And there's definitely companies out there that are better, but so, I mean, indie developers are just as guilty, but they do it to themselves. Like I'm an indie developer as well. My main indie game at the moment is I'll actually post a link in chat. Am I allowed to? I am, yeah. It's a game called Tanglethorn that I'm working on with a whole bunch of talented people. Roguelike card building. I'll have to sign into chat. Well, here it is, tanglethorn.com. I'll take you there. Yeah, this has been fun to work on. It's coming on nicely. We're hoping to have the combat demo during the summer, so it's coming on nicely. That's a little plug there for you. Yeah, but indie studios, you're your own king. So if you treat yourself badly and you crunch yourself to death, then you got really no one to answer to but yourself. But that creative control, man, that's a hell of a drug. Like I wanted to see this thing fail at a specific place, so I think that's my best bet. I need to break this file down. It's getting mad. So the problem it was running into is it was unhappy. It was finding empty somehow in the adjective node, so it should not be getting to this point with an adjective of empty. That's a filter word. Is anybody else here working on a game for the jam or just in general? Okay, so we got to adjective. So this came, it did get to here. It found empty as a filter word. Did I leave something out? Ah, oh, you fool. Call copy and paste. Schoolboy error. I suspected it was going to be something like that. So I got my filter, and that's actually going to be my predicate node. I'm totally going to rename that something. It's the first one's a filter node. That should get off in the right direction this time. Let's see if we get some other errors. When this thing clicks and starts to work, I think it's going to start working fast. Like once the language starts to understand quite a lot of human language, then it's gonna, okay, cool. That means I just forgot to program something. Enumerable, when I end the world. Oh, right, yeah, close agents. That means it got all the way to the end. That's a good sign. So it's going to be effectively the same as this. This is the filter string. So I'll be asking the agent to was it filter? This filter? Yeah, filter by, and then I provide the filter string. So it'll be empty full. So it'll filter by that, then it's gonna just, I guess by default, just order by this. Yeah, it's get closest agents. So filter by distance, and in this case, I actually am returning the whole thing, the list. I'm interested in the list. So I type, that should be type. So that'll get everything in the world, let's say a battery, converts them all to the base agent, checks, filters them all by whatever this is, which should be populated here and here, as it is. And then it orders by distance. Ordered by ascending, so that's fine. That'll be the nearest one first. Let's try again. The grammar is slowly increasing. Next step, if this works, the next step I'm going to do is multiple lines of code. It'll execute a line of code. When it finishes the operation, the robot will say, hey, what's the next line? And it'll do that. I wish I could DJ on this, but I know it'll just get slammed by some kind of copyright bullshit. Hey, it only went and worked. Okay, it worked, but the reason he turned around as soon as he got there is because he's still running his normal. Once he reached that location, he went back into the code I had running yesterday, which is he went back to his idle state. So then he started doing all this code here. This is AI as of yesterday, which I was pretty pleased with. It's still gonna be useful, but he immediately started doing normal AI. He didn't sit and wait. So I need to do what I did yesterday and just abort all that for now. I put that back in so it didn't break everything for my colleague who's working down in Florida right now on the same thing. He made an Unity assets. So that should sit there. Yeah! Boom. So now we've got, so now I could say go to the nearest full battery. And there's loads of synonyms for these too, because it's meant to be quite, so full can also be charged, not drained, undischarged, whatever. And let me see if it actually worked. Probably not. Nothing works the first time, or it can't be trusted. So he still went for this battery here. So the full, maybe those filters aren't working at all. Let's just check the sanity, check the code on battery. So get filter. Yeah, cache copy and paste. No, that's right. I just forgot to do a greater than or equal to there. That should work. So it was doing, yeah, effectively doing the same thing. I should take him probably to this guy, because the other two are dead, effectively. The world will be procedural, and it's not going to be about running around and grabbing batteries. This is just a simple way to, yeah, but this is a simple way to test the language out. Batteries and chargers. simple stuff. There's going to be ATMs. There's going to be siphoning electricity off electric vehicles because, hey, these guys are doing crimes, man. They don't pay for electricity. Screw that. They're going to be knocking over traffic, like parking meters and stuff, and eventually ramping up to the point where they're like mining block coins in their underground warehouse using all stolen electricity. So I just need to get all this stuff working nicely today. Just gonna do a big session today, and gameplay for the rest of the week. Okay, couldn't find a subject when looking for qualifier. Couldn't find a subject. Okay, this is one of those weird ones I put in. This is one usually badly worded error message I remember adding yesterday. Alright, what we got? Let's debug it. My brain's not fresh enough yet. But he is interested in the music that's going on in the background. Well, you can't hear it. There's this guy here. Just music with no lyrics, because the lyrics throw me for a spin. Okay, we got this far. What are we looking at here? So it's actually executing now, and it's in an action node. So this will be the go-to node. Right. Qualifier node hasn't got a subject yet because I haven't executed it. Let's let it run. Actually, let's step into that run and see what's going on. So this is the qualifier node running. This is saying something like nearest something. It's like adjective, noun. Yeah, go right ahead. I'm not sure this is the most relaxing stream to clean to, but you know, to each their own. If there's some shouting, it's because I got something to work. Okay, so this is... Oh, this is a problem. Actually, it's not a problem because this thing handles predicates. That's good. So we should jump down to predicate. Now we actually want to see that run. And the filter in this case should be... These should all have 2 strings, but at least they're not that bad to look at. So this is a full. I'm looking for full now. So go right ahead. Step into the... whichever one of these you guys hit. That one. Damn. That's the wrong one. Did I find something though? Found subjects. It did. No, it didn't. So we found nothing with full. That can't be right. Which are my actual batteries? Hello, Marco. How's it going, mate? So full, it didn't find anything with full. Filter by... This is being used in... This is being done in... What are we looking for? Batteries again. Full. Charge is greater than the high threshold. I think I made that at 75. So any of my batteries, if they actually start at 75, they should do. Yeah, these batteries here. These batteries don't have a charge override, so they should go straight to 100. I got lost there. I'm going to run that another time. So let's pull back here to something that did work a second ago. I had nearest empty battery working. Let's confirm that still works. Yep, and that is the nearest one. So now I want the nearest full battery. So anything over 75. So this guy should be legit. Now, just a hunch. This thing starts at 50%. I guess that's just the way it is. Actually, no, technically it starts at 0 because the batteries start at 0 charge, and then in their, this is the key here, this could be the problem. In their start method, that's when they get their charge set to the max. Now, if I'm running the code on the robot before this start method runs, which is possible, if I'm running the start method here, which I am, the start method runs here first, it won't find a full battery. And I think, before I jump to the conclusion that's correct, I want to see the error. Couldn't find a subject. So it couldn't find a subject. Because the qualifier node would have run, which then would have run the predicate node, which would have found subject. If this equals null, then the found subject would have been in here, and that would have therefore bubbled up to the qualifier node subject. That would be that. So I think that's the case, is that my batteries, that was a bit of a doozy. Batteries should definitely, all this kind of initialization should go in awake, and any kind of state stuff definitely should, and like running code, it needs to go in start. Let's do the same with the robot, be consistent. Again, initialize them battery values first. Now, if my theory is correct, we're good to go. Play stop. I think he moved for a second now. Wait, my theory is correct. Right, that one could have bugged me for a while, so boom, I'll take it. So our robot can now handle things like go to nearest full battery. So let's just start making this to a program. So that's line 1. Next thing I want him to do, so go to nearest empty battery, I want him to pick up the battery. So pickup's not a thing yet, but that'll be an easy verb to add. The robot already supports it, but this is really what I should be saying. But pick up nearest battery is kind of long-winded. I'll start with this, get it working, so the 2 lines of code's working. But I would like them to be able to be a bit more like, come on, it's obvious what I'm talking about. So if you omit an adjective and it's just a subject, it should default to grab the nearest one. I think I already do that, actually. I think at this point it's a random one. So I should not default to random. If they do want a random one, they should say random, like go to nearest, go to random empty battery, which might even be a better way of running this, but go with nearest. But if they omit that, I do want to make it so it's kind of a bit more succinct. One thing I'm thinking about on a gameplay side, from the gameplay side of things, is either limiting the number of lines of code. If you have like a basic robot, like a Mark 1, like trash can robot, then he can handle like 4 lines of code. So you can do a simple task, like go to something, pick it up, bring it somewhere else, drop it. That's all they can handle. Like he's too stupid to do anything, but he doesn't got the memory to do anything bigger. Now I was thinking about doing that with either lines of code or maybe actual numbers of characters. I think that's a little harsher. Although it might force them to try to find synonyms that are a little bit shorter, which might be hilarious. I could put some really obscure synonyms in here. Maybe some other languages add tiny words for stuff. It's like squeeze in really unreadable code into the, like 200 characters they've got. I don't know. Easy limitations to add. Can find out if that makes it fun later. But now, I need to compile this into separate commands. And this shouldn't be too hard. So this is going to say take place in the compiler. So when I compile a program, right now it's doing all this stuff on the whole code. So really, oh, I left myself what to do. How nice of me. How nice of me. Break down the program first into lines of code and compile each line. Yeah, alright, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'll leave those cities in there. I'll convert them into real comments. So I guess that's going to be my lines. That's going to be my code. Code's going to be split by new line characters. And I'm going to do a fair bit of logging at the start. Program. Code has lines length. Lines of code. And then for each of those, I'll do the compile part. I'm not going to bother breaking this out into another function. And now, right now, a program just takes a just a root node. So now it's going to be a little different. The program's actually not going to take that right away. The program is going to be blank, actually. And it's not going to have a root node. It's going to have, it's a little bit dirty, but a line of code basically is just a root node in a tree. That's basically it. So I'm going to call this the line entry points. It's kind of what it is. It's the root node of a tree. So it's an entry point, effectively. So it has a bunch of those. I'll probably got a list because I don't want to be faffing about with rescaling it. I'll create that. So creating a program doesn't do much right now. Maybe give it a name at some point, but for now it should be fine. But we are going to need, back in our compiler, going to need to make a new program and return it. Program there, and then once we've got the root node, we say, hey, program, check it out, add the line, and that's going to take the root node. So add a whole new line to the program. Let's see some cheesy logging in here. Added a line code to the program with root node. Whatever, root node. These guys don't have two strings, do they? Be a little cheeky here. They'll come from this, so I might as well just give myself some cheap win here. They'll come from that, so I should get this to word back. Right. I need to piss like no one's business. I want to get this working first. Punish yourself by not allowing yourself to pee. That's see fix bugs and get things working. We add all these lines of code. So that's, yep, that's what this is doing. And then now we've got a program that comes out. We should probably do this. Check in there. So we don't have weird compile stuff. Now, when we're running a program, that's not really my business. Now, this is the business of, at this point, we now return the program. And now whoever uses this guy, which is going to be the robot, you don't just run it. So we want to have, I guess, run next line. Yeah, because then we can have it internally loop. These are all going to loop. These programs are by default just loop. So if it's got its one line of code, it'll just keep looping the one line. If it's 4, it'll go through a 4 and just carry on. So I guess run next line. So let's put a little bit of now this. I did actually do this properly. There's a computer. So we have an interface called computer. It just can execute command, because when executing commands is basically what the hardware does. And the hardware in this case is like the robot or the charger or the battery or the policeman or the ATM or whatever, the car, whatever this thing is, it's running code. And they have super simple commands. Like right now we only handle in the robot just go to, which is simple because I already have stuff from that from back in the other AI stuff. But then you can have pickup and so on. So it takes a command and an argument. In this case, the argument would be the thing that we're going to. So really easy to add stuff here. All right, I'm going to take that piss and have a cigarette. I'll be back in a couple of seconds. Oh yeah, I just realized I should do what I do with my students. I wonder if I still have that be right back piece of paper I've been using for ages. I do! Right way up? Yeah. Be right back, cool. Right, anyway, back. Sorry, it started to rain, I had to cover my motorcycle. A bit of sleep. Right, what was I was doing multiple lines of code, right? The compiler had an error. So it's going to run not the root node anymore, it's going to run the current line of code. So don't really need this anymore. So we'll take our lines of code, set the entry points. So line entry points, current line. Do you ever type after a cigarette? Your hands all wobbling. And I'll start at 0, obviously, just be explicit about it. And once we're done, we'll increment after. It's a post increment. Dot run. And then takes the computer. And it's just for fun. Log it. Log it. nice if when these guys are, I'm gonna make these line of code. So they can have a name. Yeah, they can have code there too. So let's make that nested type. It'll have to be public. And it's gonna have the actual, or it can be properties string. My typing will come back to me in a minute. Just to get. It's gonna need. I'll make a constructor for it too, so I got a private set. And it's the same for the root node. That can be private, not that it really matters. And when this guy's needs a constructor, so when I add that guy, before it was over, so we just run the root node, root name, root node. Root node dot run. It's not a string. It's a branch node. Runs that with the computer. So really, that's probably where will my log running code. That would be the code itself on the computer dot name. Now, maybe a little hacky here. Adding that to the this is hacky because this interface is being used only on mono behaviors, which already have a name because they're mono behaviors. This kind of just cheekily exposes that. So it runs that private set again. Need constructor still. Program is finding empty. So when I add a new line of code, it's going to take a string with the code, and then I'll take the lines of code, add a new line of code with the code and the root node. Constructor for it, string code, root node, fine. Get this guy down. And the code will equal the code, and the root node equals the root node. Private set. That's a branch node. And we don't need any of these now because it's all private. Cool. And this, again, has to be a branch node. That's going to give me grief somewhere else. We already know. We checked, so it is a branched node. Add line, and that will be the line of code in the first place. Add a line of code. When we run it, it runs it. That's when the debugging happens. Marvelous. So our robot, when he runs the code, it should run the next line now. That should just work. So let me just check my compile quick. It's breaking it by new lines. Yeah, we should have plenty of debugging here to see if it's fucked up or not. Pickup doesn't exist yet, but that's gonna be easy to add. See how the debugging looks. Okay. Add a line of code. program. Add line of code. Put the code in there. To program with the root node, which will have a name. Debugging a bit better. Got to come up with a user interface at some point for actually entering new code. I want to have it if you're like hacking. If you're hacking something, there's gonna be no copy and paste in this, so you have like a beep, 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 beep. Gets faster and faster beeping, and when that runs out, it alerts all the nearby police bots that you're hacking something. So you've got to furiously type something out. No copy and paste. Adds a bit of urgency to the whole thing. That didn't have a line of code. Ready? Okay. Try it one more time. Okay, it was there. Sorry. The root node toString wasn't working. Branch node runs off that. Should just have a toString of the word. Not quite sure that's not working, but it's not critical right now. I'm not going to dwell on it until I need it. Just try toString, but that's automatically done for me. Don't think that's it. And then we just add this pickup. And that should be, once I hit pickup and drop, which will take only a few seconds, then we should be able to make a robot that charges empty batteries for us. I'm going to have to put in when it should run the next line of code. When any command finishes, so I'll have some kind of callback on those. Because it immediately got to this point. Oh no, wait, yeah, pickup. So that's going to be a new verb. Let's head over to my list of stuff. Where my verbs at? There we go. Only I got one, let's add two more. So pickup, get a few synonyms in there. What's a synonym? Pickup, grab. I don't support spaces yet. That's not hugely high up the list though. Drop, put down. So eventually I want to have support spaces, but it complicates the tokenizer a lot, so I'm not going to worry about it until it's a nice to have. Down, drop, down. Yeah, that's enough synonyms. So those should tokenize okay now. The compiling hopefully should work. So we should get added line of code. So we got two lines. It did the first one and now it should. Well, it never runs the next line. That's because over my robot, well, actually really any computer, so any of these iComputers should probably have actually no, it should need to because it's storing the, let's have a look back at our robot here. So we run the next line, we need a bit more than this. So we're storing the program, we run the first line of code, now we gotta wait till it's finished. So we'll do a little let's do this top down. So when this goTo command finishes, we'll have, so that'll be easy enough. Where's my here we go, move to object with callback. I'm using that in my execute command, and it does take an onReached. So I can put a put my callback in here. When it finishes that, on line of code finished. Actually, nah, it's pretty simple. Just run the next line of code. Well, I can make it even simpler than that. It'll be just the program dot run next line. Again, passing this. So that should wait until it finishes. Now let's just go ahead and jump the gun here and add a couple more of these. So we'll have pickup. And the thing that's picking up is going to be an agent. Everything's an agent basically in the world. That's fine. Okay, let's click a plane now. Agents. Not defined. Or mostly defined multiple times. So now we got that. Now we want to do a pickup agent. Now this wants an I pickup. I guess I should go do that. Cannot convert to this because this is going to be, damn, it's a base agent. So let's get back into being more specific again. So var agent, and this will be var, I guess, target. And then pick up the target, and then we don't need that anymore. Now pickup basically will finish instantly. So there may be some animation, there will be animation involved here at some point, some kind of delay. So I'm going to also give this an action of an on-complete. I'll null that for now because it's used elsewhere. And I want to pick up. So once this is all done, to do wait for any animations and whatnot. And then on complete, if it exists, invoke it. Good old Elvis there to the rescue. So now when I use this in execute command, same as this basically. On the next line. Now run next line needs to loop too, so loop loop the program once it's reached the end. So if current line it'll have been incremented from the last go, so it should be now the length of the program. So line entry points the length count. Then we loop it around 0 again. Simples from the current line of code. Any errors? Nothing showing there. Give it a shot. So we should see it pick up the nearest battery. Now I want to be able to eventually drop this whole nearest thing and have that kind of just inferred, just implicitly being, oh yeah, you mean the nearest one. Check it out. Now, pickup worked. This is actually expected. He picked it up and immediately went back to the beginning to find the nearest one, which he's holding. So he's trying to follow the one he's holding, and he'll go forever now. He's going to constantly keep, you'll see tons and tons of these. Somewhere in here, yeah. Yeah, I need to figure what this is. Try to pick up what will hold, oh right, well that's another problem. Which will throw the whole thing out of whack. We just need to, I mean, if I've completed the program here, then it wouldn't be a problem, but I do need to, hey, I mean, sometimes the bugs, if you have a bug in your program, that's kind of your bad. You should not write bugs in your program. It's part of the game. So you just use a synonym this time. Go to closest charger, and now drop. Yeah, this is where I definitely need to rework it. Drop nearest battery. That could just be as simple as drop, but that will mess with my compilation because drop is just a verb, which is a leaf node, so it's gonna have to have like at least. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. There's no way this is gonna work straight off the bat, but we'll give it a shot. Off it goes, picks it up, goes to the nearest charger. I don't have anything for dropping yet. So my robots execute command, need to drop. And it'll be the target. Call this the pickup target. Oh, my fellow developer just changes. He just made an ATM that you can seduce to your robot. So you go up to an ATM and seduce it and get coins out of it. Target. Now we'll try to drop that. Now we'll just drop one. I'll pick up again. But it also needs the on complete. So, same deal. So, this is going to fail because he's going to pick it up, take it to the, it's going to take it to the charger, drop it, and immediately start the program again. And the nearest charging battery that he's charging is the one he just dropped. So we'll have to put some checks in place. Like, I don't really want to put those checks. I don't want to. Oh, that's gonna be some thing in there. I don't want the checks to be in code. Ideally, it's gonna really complicate it. Really complicate it. So, let's see. Picks it up, takes the charger, drops it, picks it up again. I don't know why he didn't just loop the program. Target moved. This happens when he's trying to follow something that he's already picked up. Drop. Incomplete. Holding is null. Let's look at our logs here. What lines of code? Yeah, again. I'm suffering from too much logging now. There he goes. Pick up. That worked fine. Drop. And then he does that again. Let's look at the logs. Let's collapse that. So, from the top, add lines of code. No compilation problems. Running, go to moving state, moving to low battery, entered. No, that's something separate. Robot arrived at destination. Running code, pick up nearest battery. That just worked. Still a bit more logging in there. So when you pick something up. Who is this? This is going to be the name of the robot picked up thing. And the same for dropping. A little bit more logging can't hurt. After this works, don't know if what's next is to add some UI to program these guys. I think I want to go a little further with testing it just using the inspector. And there he goes, drops, and then continues to do some weird stuff. Let's collapse. Okay. Does all that. Picked up. Now it's running go to closest charger, moving state, moving to object, charging station. All this battery stuff doesn't matter. Arrived at destination, running code, drop nearest battery, drop the battery. Running go to nearest empty battery, that'll be the one he just dropped. Just loop back to the beginning again. So he moves to the lowest battery. Probably ended up pushing it a little bit with his rigid body. Or his collider. And then arrived at destination, picked it up again, picked it up, go to closest charger. Moving to charging station 1. So he didn't seem to arrive. Oh, I think I know what's happening. Maybe. Seems to arrive at the destination instantaneously. Maybe let it run for a bit longer. Yeah, he seemingly thinks he's arriving at the charger immediately. There's no second difference here. So this could be a case of the pathfinding. The nav mesh agent may have not finished calculating the path. So he still thinks he's arrived at his destination from the previous path. So let me check I thought I had that covered though. Let me check. So he goes to a moving to target state, which is actually a moving state. And I have this in here. Wait until the path has been calculated. If it's still pending, path calculation, still pending. Yeah, that's enough. I should see a bunch of those. There it goes. I really want to. It's really annoying debugging. But it's useful. I'll leave it for now. Up we go, up we go, up we go. Need some code. Actually, now I'm thinking about it. This whole agent thing here, that's the base of moving. So moving to target does run this first and sets a new destination before it even gets here. So I'm wondering, this should also include the same check, I think. Only if the path isn't pending. And the path has already been calculated. I should keep the order of my comments and code the same. So if it's moved, it's by some amount, and it's not still calculating. See if that's any better. God bless mini fridges. So where's everybody from? I'm in Vancouver, Canada right now. dropped it into the same thing. I mean, this is kind of legit, but why is he writing that line of code again? Out of here. Baltimore. I've never been to Baltimore. How is it? I don't think I've been there. I've been all over the states. Sometimes I lose track. I don't think I've been to Baltimore. Maybe the airport, but everybody says that. It doesn't count. Denmark. I love Denmark. Best beer in the world. My absolute favorite beer in the world, Castel Rouge. It's a lambic beer from the monastery in Denmark. Very hard to get your hands on if you're not in Denmark. It's disappointing. Oh no. How so? Cave Johnson. I want to play Portal now. Is that the right reference? I'm terrible at references. Arrived at destination, pick up nearest battery, picked up the battery, go to closest charger, left, moving to charging station 1, arrived at destination. See, this is happening instantaneously, I think. Moving to charging station 1 and immediately arrives. Like right there. Don't know why this, I guess that was both Portals. I just played through Portal 2 co-op with my partner recently. I completely forgot I had co-op. It's so good. So good. Need more. Looking for good co-op, like couch co-op games. Well, not necessarily couch co-op games, so like same room co-op games. Do have Steam on 2 machines, so, and I have 2 VR headsets too, because I teach VR development for my main day job. So got VR headsets and HoloLenses and stuff just like everywhere. Just collecting the guys. Let's make this game VR as well. That's a nice to have. We'll do it on the last day. Make a HoloLens version. You can be wandering up all over your floor. Alright, I'm not making any progress on this bug. I think I want to see at all times what the distance to their next target is. So it's definitely going to the right place. It's moving to charging station 1. Sets the destination. Oops, I don't want to debug that. Sets its previous position. See, it seems to go through, drops the battery, goes to the nearest battery. Clue here is, I think, this. When does this kick in? If I have a destination, pick up nearest. I'm gonna stop program looping and just see if the program looks legit. So when the compiler's program, when I said run next line, if I've reached the end, then I'm just gonna, for now, bail here. Actually, I'll do a check here. If program is looping, should loop. It should be all of them, but I can at least debug this way. If it shouldn't loop, then that's it. Game over, man. So that'll probably just be a debug value, but let's just kill it. Stop it looping for now. Let's see if it runs through fine once. it's tricky with nav mesh agents and calculating paths because it's asynchronous. It doesn't happen blocking. So if my check's not in the right place, then reaches the charger, drops. Oh, I think I know what's going on here. Maybe. That's not, that shouldn't be looping now. Is it my old AI? If my old AI, let's see when it, let's have it let me know when it finishes. Program, whatever, I'm gonna delete this second, so that's enough. If all this other behavior happens after, then my old AI from yesterday is probably kicking in. He's doing his normal thing. I thought I cancelled all that. I thought I aborted all that. We'll see. And pause. Program finished. That's what I'm looking for here. Finished. Ooh, interesting. It finished 3 times. Finished. Interesting. Program finished after dropping. Right. This go to next line, I think, is happening in multiple places potentially. So it finished the program here. That's when it reached, it finished dropping, so the callback happened here. So when did it get to this? How did it get to this? Run next line. I wonder if my this count might be wrong. No, it can't be because it's comes to nearest battery. So this program finished did not finish the program because it went ahead and ran it. Let's dig back and find out where it ran that from. It was in the tick for my moving to target state, so it ran the base moving to target, calls the on complete callback, which then calls this runs program next line, which then does reach here, so this is completely failing. Current line is equal to the number of counts, so when it reaches the final line, which should be the dropping line, it'll run line, that should be index 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. That then gets increased to 4, which should be the number of entry points. Do I ever hit this? I do, because I've seen that get hit. If it shouldn't loop, return. I think I see what's happening. This is getting called again and again and again. So I should probably, if it shouldn't loop, then I'll just say halted equals true, and then return on that as well. Because it'll get immediately, because it'll keep running the final state, saying, yeah, I've arrived at my destination, I've arrived at my destination over and over and over again. So it keeps trying to run the next line. And then if I just reset the line without halting it, then it'll just carry on to the next line. So if it's halted, we abort it. I don't think it's going to solve my original problem, but I want to see it at least run one clean run through here with no loops. Baby steps. Oh god, I forgot I had that camera view. Whoops. Drop. Right, that's more like it. So now it's actually stopping. He's still in the moving state though, so I do need this is gonna have to idle him. And when he goes back to idle, it goes into the idle state, and I have bailed on all this stuff. So yeah, I do need to, when a program finishes, I kind of want to force him to idle first. Is it safe to say they should always idle first? Like, idle it, and then if there's something to do next, do that. Oh, of course, yeah. Call any on reached. Go back. Hold on a sec, guys. Hey. How was it? Facebook and YouTube. That's good. I'm maintaining. Oh. Yeah. Right. Another idle should work. Test. Cool. So he's going idle. Now let's try that with the looping. Let's see if that works. So programs should loop. Now I do expect the same thing to happen, but you should just keep taking the same battery back to the same charge point over and over again. So I'm gonna have to make some kind of assumptions. I don't really want to make the code saying get nearest empty battery that we haven't that isn't charging. I don't want to make that. Yeah. That's so. Yep. Okay, that kind of worked. Yeah. Yeah, that is working. I just need to. There he goes. You'll keep grabbing it, keep grabbing it, keep grabbing it until it gets to the point where. Oh, now where is he going? He was chasing the battery in his hands. That's always going to be an issue. Now, I have no idea how this could happen. Go to nearest empty. Oh, right. There are no more empty batteries. So this isn't really an error. It just means there's nothing. So we run execute, so we execute the command, and if there isn't anything in the command, then we probably shouldn't execute the command. But then that will kill the looping of the program. Interesting. So this really isn't an error, because it's completely legitimate not to be able to find a thing. If you can't find something, then that's fair. There isn't any empty batteries or whatever he's looking for. So the robot execute. If it's a go-to, this could very well be null. Which will end up with this. Really? This is a design thing. Like, do we keep trying that line of code over and over again? That seems reasonable. Keep trying to look for an empty battery, so when one does crop up, probably keep trying the same line of code again. So if it couldn't find something to go to, this is not an explosion case. This should be, what should this look like? If a valid agent couldn't be found, there might not be one available right now. So if it's null, what do we want to do? don't want to run the next. Beginning to think that this is a bad idea. I'm beginning to think that we should actually run the current line of code and not increment it. There should be a next run, so it should be run current line. Because you might want to do the same one over and over again. So if it keeps running the current line, that wherever I run this, in here, we're going to want to say, hey, program, go to next line. Yeah. And that will be dealing with the looping. Writing programming languages. Simple ones. Still tricky. So I wouldn't need this anymore. Should definitely have a halted. Just safe, put that there everywhere to be safe. Is anybody else here working on this same game jam? Or interested in making games at all? I'm curious. Is anybody here an artist? The $1,000,000 question. I include sound in that. Sound is very much art. Let's go to next line. Be the same here. If it successfully did it. Now these are the special cases. This is where I want to sort of sit and wait. So I kind of want to, I guess, wait a bit and run. Yeah, so I'm just gonna, I'll use a coroutine here. I'm just gonna start a coroutine called wait, delay before. Actually, I'm just gonna use my util library for this because I'm lazy. Delay some seconds. So that's kind of a program thing, I would think. I don't want to put this in all of them. I don't want to put this in every single. Right now I'm in a robot. I kind of want. Where would be a good place to put this? Well, I'll hard code it for now and come up with a better. Because this could be like, you know, if your robot's faster or slower, then maybe it delays less. Find a better. This magic number. So wait a second before basically running the current line again. Yeah. Try to run the same line again. So keep looking for empty batteries over and over again until eventually one is empty. Otherwise, it'll sit there. So it'll halt basically on any one line of code until it's valid. That seems like reasonable behavior for me. This is a bit annoying. I have to copy and paste the same thing. Don't do like that. But it really is just one line of code, so I forget all my comments. There's gonna be cases where it's totally messed up, like somehow you managed to. You should be able to end up with. You should pick something up. Again, don't write bad code in the game. I guess that's the moral of the story. Going for that Kerbal space program thing. Hopefully, it's not gonna be annoying when you mess up. It's fun when you mess up in Kerbal space program. Again, I run into the same problem again. Him Same problem. Program finished. So then forward goes to the nearest empty battery again. Arrives at it, picks it up, goes to the closest charger, moving to charge station 1, arrives at destination, drops the battery. This is not. Yeah, what point does it kick into this infinite loop? Here. Moving to low battery 1. This happens when he picks something up and his hand is too close to I need to just make this smarter. This should never happen when it's something that's in his hand. So like, what's the smart thing to do? If you're moving to a target and you're holding it, you're never going to reach it because it's in front of you. It's a whole carrot on a stick situation. So, if this is a moving situation, I don't know if the thing I'm trying to follow, which is the target, but this is specific to the robot, so I can say what to do. If the robot is holding the target, it's trying to reach. So if the target is the whole, what do they call that? What am I in here? I'm in a state. Oh, it's agent. Agent dot holding. It's probably not. Yeah, it's not public. Now it is. If he's holding the thing, then let's put some test in here quickly. And bail. See that happen. If anybody's just tuning in to this, I'm making a game. Me and another guy are making a game where you program robots using plain English, effectively, to do crimes for you. He's working on the crimes part. I'm working on the plain English programming part right now. We started this. It's for game jam. We started it like late. I started late on Friday. Did all the AI stuff on Friday, and then did some basic language processing yesterday. So now I'm working on making that better. Did it reach that reached thing? It didn't. So he was following something that's. I've seen this behavior a ton. Them like chasing something that's in our hand. Definitely should. Oh, he's pushing it. He's not holding it at all. He's pushing it with his feet. And so when he reaches the edge, you'll probably get it. Yeah, okay, right. That's just a matter of the robot not knowing this here. The reach destination threshold is totally too small. So we make that 1 meter. I think it's still in meters. Then I should solve that problem. But I mean, yeah, that should solve that problem. So you should keep pick it up, drop it, pick up, drop it, pick up, drop it, and then eventually gives up when it's charged enough. Got it. It's not ideal because he shouldn't keep picking up the battery he just picked up, but that's not a trivial thing to fix. So he'll do the same thing here. He's dropping it, picking it up, dropping it, picking it up, and then now he's reached the point where there's no more empty batteries. The program finished, but it does loop around, tries to find the empty battery, reaches a problem here because if it's null, I forgot to bail here. On all of these, so it should wait a second before trying the same line of code again. Yeah. that should work. And then if I think I have some hacking code in here to hit backspace, it reduces all the batteries charged by 10% or something. So I should be able to kick in back into action by hand reducing all these batteries into oblivion. Off it goes. Does the thing. Eventually that'll run out. Let's speed this up a bit. Oh, there he goes. Picking up and dropping thing. That's a problem for another day. So when he, yes. So now he's just sitting there waiting. He should have entered an idle state. Robot arrived, left, entered idle, and you're just chilling in an idle state now. Perfect. So if I now, looks like my hack doesn't work anymore. Right, quickly band it back in. Battery. Update. Did I delete that? I might have. Maybe that wasn't in battery. Maybe that was in. I'll search for backspace. Battery level. Handle debug controls. What am I in? This is in the robot. Oh, sorry. This was to reduce the robot's battery level. My bad. So I'll have something similar. Battery, and it'll just choose a different key. Use a delete key this time. If input dot key down delete, and take charge and reduce it by 10. Let me just speed this guy up. My tab key increases the speed by like 20 times, I think. Whoop, whoop. Okay, now delete. After a second or so. Okay, he's not running that code again, so my delay is not working. That was in execute. Execute commands. Robots. It might delay. Ah, you fool. Delays an actual coroutine thing. That was my bad. Start coroutine. Baby steps. Now, I mean, he's going to keep picking up the same battery over and over again, which is not causing any harm right now, because it's just telling him to put it back in the... Just drop it immediately. It's not that bad. And he is now... Yes, now it's doing it every frame. Perfect. So he's trying it. So if I just drain some of these batteries, yeah, he goes for it. Once that's charged up a bit, he'll run over to this next one, probably. Interesting. Going to nearest empty batteries no longer. Not doing anything. Going to next empty battery is the code. So it runs the current line. Masqueradox. I don't know if I pronounced your name right. Sorry, buddy. What do you find is the most challenging while coding a game like this? I've never coded a game like this necessarily. I've never done natural language processing or NLP before. So I think I watched a couple YouTube videos similar to it ages ago, and I had a couple things in my head. Like I knew I wanted tokenize my tokenize the it's all written down here, but tokenize the break down the sentence into pieces of space separated pieces, and then turn that into like a binary tree that kind of, it's a bit like how a calculator works. You can imagine putting brackets around. If you want to do 2 times brackets 2 plus 2, you do the 2 plus 2 first, then you do the outside 2 times 2. So it's similar to that, how calculators work. You're breaking things down into a tree. So that's new and challenging. The most challenging thing, it's almost always psychological. It's like you have a lot of projects on the go, keep it motivated. This is new, being able to stream it. I've never done this before, so it kind of helps keep me focused. Most challenging thing, finishing stuff's always probably the most challenging thing. Finishing anything. For me at least. Some people are just like can do it somehow. But the challenge is the best part. Forgetting the not finishing thing, like the actual code challenge. That's why I do it. If I'd done it before, it'd be no fun. Just learning new stuff. That's my jam. Making things fun's hard. Sometimes you get lucky. Like I have no idea this will be fun. But there's only one way to find out. Really, you can't measure that very accurately before you try it. Yeah, I hear you, mate. Nev, Nevneal. It's hard. It's really hard. And over the years, like I guess I've even with this project, like it's hey, sit down and make a game where you can program robots in plain English. Yeah, ADHD. I hear you, man. Represent. Um, my coping mechanism for that is just you have to break things down to baby steps. Stuff you can finish in one sitting. You need that constant sort of validation and stimulation comes from finishing a thing. And like for me yesterday, getting started on this natural language processing, which has grown a lot since then. Now I can execute like a little program. I started out with just go to nearest charger and went with that. Or just go to charger, the simplest thing, and just set out to accomplish nothing else. So there's huge gaps in my code where it can't handle anything more advanced than that. But now I've got those gaps I can fill in. So it's baby steps. But yeah, ADHD does not help. And I can tell you that for free. So why is this guy not running the same code over and over again? It's running the code on the computer, which will then immediately, well, it shouldn't immediately not find it. So it's going to run goto again. So it will execute the command again. Because the run, let's find that again. So it's running the code, this code, which is the go to nearest empty battery. So it runs that, and it doesn't seem to produce anything from it. No logging or anything. So what that would take me is into a branch node. In this case, it would be an action branch node, which would run, do the go-to. It would hopefully eventually get to the point where it's executing. So I need some, in a robot, I need straight up, did it even get here? There's not a lot of logging going on here. So I need some, I need to know something's going on here. Attempting to execute commands command with argument. Guess this should be hopefully something that can be empty on, and then this will be the whoever's running it. Some logging, see if things are working. I think I need some drum and bass. That might help. Stuff I'm listening to is a little bit too chill. I'm gonna find music. I can't have lyrics, unfortunately. Lyrics throw me off. I think that's an ADHD thing too. Cannot listen to lyrics in program unless I'm deep in the zone. Bass. Just programming will get you at the end of anything. It should give me something. Synthwave. Oh yeah, I'll do for now. Something. Right. I definitely just put that code in there. Yeah. Oh. It's working now. What did I change? I may have changed something when I was talking and totally missed it. But now he's doing his job. Right, well, we have a robot that follows. It's got a bug that he'll keep picking up and dropping the same thing, but beyond that, he's doing his job. So I'm going to drain all the batteries again. You should start running around. Wonderful, my first AI. Now, is there an easy way to get my big brain on? Let's get rid of some of this logging. Whatever, I'll leave for now. Next big challenge. Commit the code. Got multiple line programs working. Super lazy commit. Boom. Right, now I'd like to see if there's any simple solution for this. Hey, picking up and dropping, picking up and dropping. I can't think of a simple solution that doesn't take in some pretty big assumptions into account. I could say, all right, you just dropped that. Maybe there's some kind of cooldown on something you just dropped. You shouldn't pick it up again. I mean, that might be a simple win. It could be as simple as that. But that's the problem is it's already reached the point where it's a pickup before I can logically check that. Now it's too late because I've already got that target. I need to happen before I've got the target. So the targets happen in the compiler. It's really tricky. Can I? Okay. What I could do is anywhere I get an agent, anywhere. So the guy get a random here. Let's move these around. Get a random here. Get closest. I got a sorted by that doesn't make any sense anymore. Actually, maybe it will. Yeah, that will make sense. Do I use it anywhere? No. So if I always pass in, I am passing the computer there, and the computer there, and the computer there, and I can pass the computer in here. Now I have access to the computer, and I could say, "Oi, computer," on every single one that I'm looking for. I could say, "Hey, where whatever this thing is, it's an agent, right? Yeah, agent. Where not, no, I'll just call it agent dot, no, computer dot is valid. Is it valid for what? This is a super general level. I you know, is it a valid dropping thing? Is it a valid picking up thing? Moving to thing? But the world's object knows nothing of this. I can't say it straight up, is it valid, because I don't know what you want it for. I could potentially, and even here, even back here, I don't know why they want it. The information isn't there. There's no context. I could try pushing context all over the place throughout everything, but then it gets a bit convoluted. No longer is a piece of code kind of running just like in isolation atomically. It's actually needs to know about the world, which is kind of not how programs work in real programming. So the solution, if I actually look at my code, my robot code, is to, I guess, so go to nearest empty battery. I could put another filter on here, like new. Go to nearest new empty battery, which should give me a second layer of filtering. But and then what does that do? It still needs to have context. It needs to know what the hell new means. And it's new in isolation from empty. Nearest is just what does new battery mean to this robot? Is it a battery that had no interactions with recently? Or is it an agent that had no interactions with recently? That might be enough. It's worth a shot. So I need a new, I don't know what they're, so that's going to be a filter word. Called new. What synonyms do we have? Fresh. Next. Go to nearest next empty battery. That makes sense. Yeah, next. Like next might be the kind of main word for it. Let's just leave it at that for now. We've got a new filter. So it's going to come to here. And we're filtering it. And we know what type it is. So these filters are definitely going to need to know about the computer, the thing that's actually running as code. I could put this in elsewhere, but I don't want to overcomplicate things, so just add it here for now, which means my robot. It's my error, was my error. Get random agent. I started talking about this. Forget that for now. That doesn't matter because filtering happens first. So this should, it's filter by robot has one. So now we have the computer. Well, actually we don't even need the computer because actually we do, because it's filtering, actually filtering in this case a batteries. So the battery filter by the filter and then computer. So I need to go to the filter by in battery. Right, so I guess if the computer has, oh no, this is going to be a fault. Sorry, this is a new one. If it's, what did I say? Next. Next is the main word. So if the computer dot. If it's next, then they shouldn't have. If not, well, this is gonna be a bitch to keep track of, but has interacted with recently this. So has the computer recently interacted with a base agent? So I'm gonna have to keep track of what they've interacted with in some kind of logical place. And this is probably, I don't know, this is probably gonna end up getting pulled up into a base class, but for now I'm gonna leave it just with robot and deal with that when I get to it. So if the agent is in the recently interacted with list, if this list is going to be like the agent and when it was last interacted with, so and then some kind of cooldown, right? So if I need a piss and I'll fix this through. I got an idea. Okay. Right. So if recently, a list of recently interacted agents. So I'm going to have to find if any of them I just like to use single letters for this normally, but this is not ideal, so I'm just going to call it that. If the recently interacted agent dot actual agent, this will make sense in a minute, is the agent, then we have recently interacted with it, therefore that'll be true. So now this guy is going to be a list of agent interactions. There, it's all done. And that'll be a new interaction. Type. Now I'll just have, yes, please, the agent itself. Let's be a get. And we'll give this a public constructor of base agent, agent. Now I need to say last interacted with, last time interacted with will equal, when I make it, I guess, time dot time. I'm just making this thing. Oh wait, no. Right, now. Got so many of these loose classes lying around. This is definitely going up into base agents. Base agents, check it there. Sure thing. Right, now I think all this stuff should be pulled up. I said I wouldn't do this, but I'm going to. Agent's gonna have recently interacted with, let's grab that dude. Okay, and now, because he's gonna have an update, we can update the recently interacted with agents list, a really annoying variable name. So for each var interactive agent in recently interacted agents, if enough time has passed, so if time minus the interacted agent dot last time last interacted with, that can just be time last interacted with, is greater than or equal to some magic number. I'll make it a variable, so this is even dumber name than the rest of them, right? Agent, no, it's not. Interaction cooldown. That'll be serializable. That will give it a magic. Let's just call it. Don't mess with something you already messed with in 5 seconds. Maybe that's a bit much. It's configurable. And if that's the case, then let's get out of there. So because we're going to be getting it out of there, this thing has to be converted to something. Otherwise, we'll get an error that it's been manipulated while it's being enumerated on. So now we take our recently interacted agent dot remove this interacted agent. So after 5 seconds, it gets pulled from the list, and if you sort using the new filter, which will be the filter by on agent now. Where's this used? Filter in. Oh, this is only in battery. It's only in battery. You can safely copy this into robot 2, I think. Well, everything really. I think a charger also handles this. Yeah, charger's probably going to want that. I also provided to it's like the get type name, so we know what the hell it's talking about. Grab this guy. Robot battery. Right. Now we never add to that list. So when we interact with anything, so the robot interacted with something. So that's going to be in its execute command. This can, I guess, this is considered an interaction. So add an agent interaction. It's going to be the base class. And it's just going to be agent. And we'll have this for our pickup. More importantly, for our pickup, it's the most important point. Yeah. So I'll just copy this over. Manually make it into base agent. Not base agent, just agent. Public void. Base agent. Agent. add the agent to the list. Agents recently interacted with. I hope this works. Should do. Recently interacted. Add new interaction. It takes the agent. Neato. Now, I'd like to be able to visualize this somehow. I do intend to having selection, so I can click on these guys and get some debug information down the side of the screen, but I ain't got that right now. So I got a 5-second delay now. Okay, where's agent? Okay, yeah, this could be anything. I think I could safely. Oh yeah, right. It's complaining because because that might not exist yet. There's nothing to do with agents. Drop target. Yeah, full. Pick up target. As base agent. It has to be. It's not used anywhere else. Right. Test her out. Your 5-second delay now. That 5 seconds is super arbitrary. Now I'm assuming the new thing works. There's a simple way I can test this actually. Let me bring a new robot in here. Get rid of this guy. Bring this robot in. Whack him over somewhere here. Give him a new program, which is simply go to nearest new battery. And he'll just loop over that. So he should visit. If I make that 5 seconds long enough, here it is. If I make this like a big old 30 seconds, eventually he'll visit it all and he'll have nothing to go visit. And now you'll next adjective. It's not an adjective, it's a filter. Why am I putting it through the filter? It should be not the filter, oh yeah, I failed to put it in the most important spot, so this should be next. Next. I could have sworn I used this somewhere else though. I did. Oh yeah, but I never actually used it in the most important spot, which is where I pass it to the world thing. Right. Go log in. This guy should visit them in order, or in the nearest order. Then he'll be done, go to the next one. Shouldn't go back to this one. Yeah. When he reaches this thing, 30 seconds will not have passed. And he should just be stumped for a bit. For a bit. Once 30 seconds passes, he'll make his trip again. It's the time to open another near beer. Come on, buddy. Work for me. Yes. Alright. It's hacky. And it's a hell of an assumption on some programming, but I think it'll, if that 5 seconds, or whatever I make it, is a bit more dynamic, like this, if I make this a bit more intelligent, 5 seconds is fine for now, but it should solve my other robot's problem. Now he doesn't pick up and drop something. Oh, tried to get type from unknown name. Right, nearest, new, and empty. These are both filters. Ah! It's double filtered. Filter and on top of a filter. No, I don't know why the hell it's... Okay, I have to dig back here. Where is it whatever is passed in here is not subject word. Oh, what the hell have I ended up with? The filter node's word is empty. Wait a second. That's sorry, the subject word. The subject word. This is a predicate node, my least favorite renamed thing. Predicate nodes are basically filters. So like empty, full, next, and the filter itself is this. Language processing makes the code basically unreadable unless you wrote it. It's supposed to be riveting. So let me just sanity check this. Go to nearest. So this is a qualifier. That's a predicate, and that's a predicate. So predicates need to be able to stack. So on a predicate node, the problem here is, I think, it's the filter's fine. That's gonna be legit. It's always gonna, so the filter's gonna be this part. Now the rest of it, the subject in this case, will be great. Where did I make this? I create node using the rest. So that will then create a node using the remainder part, which will be here. So it'll create a node of that. It'll find empty battery. You go, oh yeah, that's a predicate. So now this will be a filter and a predicate. And I don't think that's supported here. It isn't. Now running. Problem is subject may not be a subject. This totally is not necessarily a subject. I handled this in qualifier nodes, I believe. I did. I switched on the subject. Right, I need to do something similar here. Let's take it side by side. I switched on the subject. Now, if it was a subject node, then I can do this. Well, this. If it's a subject node, I can do that. If it's another predicate node, now I think I've already established I don't want to have another qualifying node. That just means I could type things like get nearest new, no, get new nearest empty value. I mean, yeah, it could do that too. Found subjects. Well, this has to be. See, these qualifier nodes only ever spit out a single subject, whereas predicate nodes don't. They spit out. Let's forget the other guy for a minute. This thing. I can use subject. Yeah, this is going to be pretty dirty, but I'm going to. Well, actually, no, it's not. This part. Yeah, get the actual subject. If it's here, it's going to be similar to. If the subject is a subject, then found subject. What the fuck is sound? Oh, that's. Predicate nodes do have found subjects. They're found subjects. So found subjects. The sound. If it's found subjects is if it is a subject node. It's already been executed. No, I have to run it. I think. It's found subject. Oh, don't. Ah! Found subjects do kind of have to be like this. That's if it's a filter node. Why did I do I'm not sure why I did a switch on this. It has to be a filter node. The first one's always a filter node. So this doesn't even make any sense. The filter is a filter node. Now it's making a bit more sense because it looks a bit more like this. So now found subjects, if it's a subject node, the found subjects will be done this way. And break. And if it's another predicate node, then the found subjects will be, well, we run the predicate node. Don't need this anymore. This is the closest model I had to go by, and it's something that is similar. If the subject is a subject's node, if it's another predicate node, we need to run it. This is where that new and empty are both, these are both filters, new and empty. So this will be the empty one. We run the empty one. This will be a list of empty things. This is complaining because oh, because the first is default. Yeah, we want the whole list. So found subjects will now be the empty subjects. And then, so to run the empty batteries. So it should be given empty batteries, and now it passes, I can't, there we go. Empty batteries, and then that passes it to the new filter. So that's the other predicate. So when it's empty, it'll say, all right, so that's the deepest one. So gets empty battery. It's actually a battery, which is a subject. So it goes, cool, let's filter it by empty. Now it actually has found subjects. Now the other one, which is the new, yeah, the new one is now basically got to run filter again. So it runs this will have run the empty batteries. Now it's dealing with empty batteries. And now it's I gotta filter them again. I don't have a way of filtering a filtered list. Because right now the world's doing it. So I need some new way of doing this. And I might as well leverage the world because it's the only one. So it looked like something like a filter agents. It'll take that subjects, take those subjects, give the computer, because it might need it. We'll need it for next at least. And then it takes the filter word. I should probably do this like that. The difference is now I'm using a filter agents on all of these. And I'm passing in, instead of a word, I'm passing in this. And my brain is on the absolute limit of concentration. It's all going to derail, I know it. All right. So that will filter. It runs the predicate node, so this will give me all the empty batteries. Now I'm looking for the new empty batteries. So I'll take the empty batteries and now I'll filter it again by this. This should work. The code should be pretty easy to lift from what I already have. So this will be I guess agents. This will be the filter. It's going to be pretty much return the agents dot where agent dot filter by filter and the computer. Should give us filtering. Oh god, it's gonna be a bitch to debug. This is the danger. This is the danger. I run it and it fucking works. And I feel like I don't need to debug that. It worked great. Except it did. It just worked once. That's why I usually don't run this stuff first time, and I always hit it with the debugger first. Should probably do this just to be consistent. I'm gonna live dangerously and I'm gonna run it. Just gonna run it. Now, if this does work, I'll need some more empty batteries first of all. So I'm gonna make all these batteries empty. I'll make them all empty. It might be hard to. I'll make some more empty batteries. There we go. Empty batteries everywhere. It should never try to pick up the same one again, because it's now searching for new, and that should give you a 5-second window, which is plenty of time for it to find the next one. It's that quick looping I'm trying to avoid. That's the first new one it found. This should not. Okay, this is kind of what I was worried about. It's working. 5 seconds would have passed. This is no longer considered, but it's fully charged now. Now, do I trust it? Do I just say, hey, it must be working? Or do I debug the hell out of it? It's dangerous to walk away from something that's saying, yeah, I totally did it. Oh, he went to a different charger. That's kind of cool. Right, well, that wasn't as painful as I thought it would be. And assuming it's working, let's just get us nuke all these batteries. Just let them go in fast motion. There you go, mate. Good job. I just realized something. This robot's running around like crazy. His battery's long dead, but the code does not allow him to charge himself. Maybe I need another robot whose job is to go around picking up full batteries and going to empty robots and plugging them into the robot. I think you should be able to plug a battery into the back of a robot, like, and it just starts to fill the robot. And once the robot's full, the battery just drops off. That'd be kind of cool. I might do something like that soon. Yeah. So your one robot is like, all right, find a full battery, then find an empty robot, or go to a full battery, go to an empty robot, plug in the battery. Nah, that's hard because that's two things. I'm plugging, because in code that would look weird. Let me just get another robot here that's doing something different. So we'll call this guy, he's the battery charging robot. But another one down here, and his job is robot charging robot. Trying to keep all the robots alive. So this dude, his code would be something like go to the nearest, no, can't use fresh. I used fresh somewhere else, didn't I? When I was talking about full batteries, I didn't. I'd be very tempted to say fresh battery. I'm not going to use fresh down here because that will confuse. I'm not going to use fresh down there because fresh totally is something I might refer to as like a fresh battery. I totally would use that word. I also might use, for empty, I definitely use the dead battery. For full, I can't use. These ones are meant to be something you sort by, like the most full. Okay, I have the freshest. Or the freshest battery. And then the deadest battery. Yeah, sure. Deadest battery. And then dead and full could be completely fresh. So those are filtering words. Right. So I could say, hey, go to the nearest, did I say freshest? go to the nearest fresh battery. So something that's like not dead. Get a good battery. Then you can also use like move or move to. I don't think it's keep going. Use go to. Then I would go to the nearest drained. I guess I'd probably be tempted to use drained, most drained. Go to the, well, it wouldn't be nearest because I actually don't care about the distance. I want to go to the most drained. Now I don't support spaces yet. If you've not heard me say it already, unfortunately, I do not support spaces. Now this is the part I'm worried about. Plug in battery, but to what? If I say to robot, then that's just really that's completely complicated how my language works. I have two subjects here, plug in and then two subjects. Just even considering this part's going to be tricky. I'm going to go with that. I'm sure I know I'm going to find some grammatical thing in my language that just makes it all come tumbling down. Because so far everything's pretty much worked nicely from left to right. This won't do that. Plug in will say, oh, I'm an action. And then it'll plug in this part. And it'll say, oh, I'm a subject. Plug in's the verb, subject is the action. That's already valid. But if it's parsing this part, it's saying, okay, what's the first thing? Well, it's a noun. But I need to look at the whole thing, and that's what I'm missing. I'm not looking at the whole thing, because this is no longer... Well, maybe this isn't an action. This is not a normal action. This is like an interaction. It's an action between two things, an interaction. So if it's an interaction, then it does need to look at two things. Yeah. There's more assumptions on this line too, like battery. What battery? The one you're holding? If it just stumbles across battery, what should it look for? The nearest one? And or should I ask the computer that's running this, hey, what do you consider the nearest one? And if it's a robot holding one, it's like, well, the one I'm holding, but that's no good because if I try to move to the nearest one, then he'll follow his hams around and just run off forever. So context is the problem again. There's no context here. So I think more assumptions are in line. Otherwise, this language is going to get out of hand. I mean, what I could do, and what is happening for chargers, is if I simply go to the nearest drained robot, then I can have it so the battery just goes pop and just pops out from the robot's hands and straight into the drained robot. But that has some nasty side effects, like now the thing you're holding is gone. So it ripped out of your hands. And also then, like, when do you know that's happened? I guess you'd be told and then goes to the next thing again. Ah, man. Simplest. Need to find the simplest way to do this. That still is there something someone might guess. I want them to be able to guess this stuff. The trick is, it's gonna be like there's not gonna be a tutorial. I don't like tutorials. You're gonna be starting at like a robot factory. There's a bunch of dead robots laying around with like names, and one might be like robot maintenance, like bot maintenance Mark III or something, and he's broken, but you can look into his code and you can see what his code did say. And it might be something like this, or the battery charging guy. you'll say, "Oh, that's how you do that thing." So that's your tutorial, basically. Seeing examples, snippets of code just lying around in dead robots. So it doesn't have to be perfect as a language if you see examples, if you encounter examples. Hmm. Hmm. Let's let my brain just percolate for a minute, right? I think it's just gonna need some pencil and paper thinking. Yeah, let's take a break and do some pencil and paper stuff. I'll be back online later, guys. Thanks for watching.